Okay, part two. We leveled the floor in part one. So what we're going to do now is check the levels with a spirit level, and then lay out the tiles, see what pattern we want, where we're going to start and finish, and hopefully get some tiles stuck down. So let's have a look at the floor. Okay, so let's have a look. First of all, yeah, we're looking pretty level. And then there's no real gaps underneath the spirit level. So this will be a nice, easy tile. Okay, here we go. These are the tiles that I've picked. So all distress wood type. And I think because of the way the sofa is going to go, I'm going to run the tiles as they are here, so in line, parallel with the back wall. And to be honest, I'm just going to start, I think, probably on a full tile. But before we do that, let's work out, if I did start on a full tile, what it would be like when we get to the end, and what it would be like when we get to the post. Because if it leaves a little gap that you can't cover with the skirting, but it's too thin to cut one of these long tiles down, it's going to look silly. So let's measure that out first. See what happens. Okay, so we want to work out now, when we start tiling full at that wall, what happens when we get to that end. The way we do that is measure this, so it's 150, and then measure the length of the room. .5 meters. Don't leave your tape measure out in the rain. Oh dear. Need a new tape measure. Got a large 90-degree square. You can get these anywhere. Amazon, not very expensive, but ideal for tiling. If you don't have one of these, don't worry. It's not the end of the world. You can get one of these, even cheaper, or if you're only doing this once, you can actually do your own 90-degree measurement using the 3-4-5 method. So if you have one side that's 3 meters by 4 meters, the longer side is going to be 5. So you start off there, measure, you could half it all, so 1500 that way, 2 meters this way, and where you get from that corner to that corner, it should be 2.5 meters. So you bring this across until it makes that distance 2.5 meters. But we've got one here all ready to set up. So we want to check, see if this wall is 90 degrees to that wall. If we didn't do that, then when we laid the tiles directly with this, it wouldn't look square with the front of the mezzanine, which would look a bit odd. So let's see how square it is. There we go. I'll measure from, let's put it up to that post, from here to there. see, about 145. If we do the same on this side, 157. So we can see then that as we go along here, this wall goes further that way. So we're going to have to take that into account when we start tiling. You can see the gap at the back. So eventually it'll go from nothing to something, which doesn't really look that great, to be fair. So all we do is move this to equal distance. So let's select 40 mil. There we go. So although you'll have a wedge shaped cut all the way along, it won't go down to nothing. So that'll look a lot better. So we measure from here to the other wall, divide it by how many tiles we're going to need, account for the grout lines, and we can then draw a line on the other wall at the other side and see. So I'll do that now and you'll see what I mean. Okay, that's 3260. 3260 divided by 150, the width of the panels, 21.7, because you've got to add on 21 grout lines. That's 42. Which gives us 26 tiles exactly. I think I might change it then and put a bigger start gap here. So that's where we're going to start. We got 60 mil here, which leaves a gap along the back there where we can take up the wall not being too even, and that will be fine. Let's mark this tile, because we'll have to cut this with the angle grinder, so we can do that, and then we're ready to roll. We can start mixing up adhesive. So let's cut this first. Okay, so a quick note on how we're going to cut this. The length of this is too long to go in any tile cutter if you want to cut it lengthways. Because we've got two cuts here, we can't use the score and snap, so we're going to use cordless angle grinder. It doesn't have to be cordless, you can buy one for about, I don't know, 20 euros, and that'll be fine. The problem is you need a decent blade for these tiles. This is a ruby one specifically for porcelain tiles, and you really need a good blade on it, otherwise it's going to chip and it's just going to make your life a lot harder. Anyway, let's get this cut. So we need to cut this one. So let's go get the score and snap tile cutter. I actually bought this from a very good friend of mine. It was his dad's, who's sadly no longer with us, but he kept it in such good condition. Virtually every job I tiled in the UK for many years was done using this. So the way to do this is, because it doesn't matter which way around these tiles go, just leave a little gap at the edge, and then you can just mark your cut here with a gap for your grout line. Right, so we turn it around so the cut's at the wall. Bob it in. Right, so to do this, you see this is the factory edge that wants to be in. So we need to then measure the distance, draw it on here, and then go cut it on the angle grinder. 50 on that, get away with that, no problem. And then measure how long this piece is going to be. Put a mark on the floor and measure that distance, 55. Yeah, so it's just a straight cut then. Just have to get it the right way around. 55 here, 50 here. Draw the line. And we want the small bit. Okay, we know where that's going to be, and we know what we did there. So it's 55. Turn you around. There's that one. Next one. Right, so we know it was 55, so we'll do that straight away. 55. There. And then at this end where this tile is, 75. Mark 75 up from the bottom. That's that. I'll mark where we are here. Now, what's magic about 75 is that it's half a tile. Exactly. So we can actually probably reuse this the other way around, so we'll just do one cut. But we'll have to check that. So it starts at 75. Let's have a look. Right here. And we need 90. So the question is, can we get 90 there? Yep, we can. So this will actually do two. We cut dead on the line, it'll be 2. And then we just got this small bit to do here. Right, so we've got our first 2 rows set up, ready to go. I brought up another box, and we still got 1.5 or 1 3/4 there. What we're going to do is mix up some adhesive and start to lay the adhesive out, and then yeah, get those 2 rows in and just work from there really. Right then, so once you've got your first 2 rows worth of adhesive on, always It's not often done in the UK actually, but you should always back butter. The tiles. So this one's for that corner, and we need a little bit more adhesive on that end because I couldn't get in with the trowel. So we'll start from this end. Stick this in. Good stuff. And then do this one. Okay, so that's the first 2 rows done. It's just more of the same now. Adhesive, put the tiles down and then cut at each end if you need to. So I think I'm going to use one of the offcuts here that we had from the back and use this to start at this end. Run that way, see how we get on. I'll put you on time lapse now because it's all the same stuff until we get to the sofa. So it's the next day. I've given all the joins a clean out and swept it off. So we're going to mix up some grout this section, wait for that to go off, wash it off a couple of times and then move the sofa over, which means we can get to that space and primer it and level it. Right, make life easy on yourself and get a grout float. It's possible to do it with a paper scraper in a pinch, but just a pain, and you'll use more grout in the end. Yeah, should be alright. Okay, so that's us done. Let's have a look at the floor, see what we think. Pretty decent, nice edges. And we see we've got a nice decent size cut down there as well, because we didn't want a really slim one, a slim cut going to nothing. So that's worked out well. I like the random pattern. Yeah, it looks really good. So I'm pleased with that. I've grouted it. You can see grey grout. Looks nice. So that's it for the tiling. It's pretty straightforward, quite easy. It all relies on your preparation with the especially with the longer floor tiles. These are 1.2 meters long by 15 centimeters wide. So yeah, when you've got a tile that's 1.2 meters long, if you're not on a flat surface, then you get you'll get a raised edge or movement in it, that kind of thing. But this has all worked out fine. So that's it for this video. Any questions, put it in the comments, see if I can help you. But the idea of this video was to carry out tiling a floor on a wooden floor using the method they use here, which is not overboarding with ply, but using flexible floor leveling compound to stabilize the floor, which we've done. So I'll let you know in a few months if it's been successful, or look for any cracking grout, but it all looks good to me. I'll be quite happy with that. So yeah, thanks for watching.